Most men avoid tough conversations because they fear conflict, they fear rejection, and they fear saying the wrong thing. But real leaders, the ones who take control, take command, and the ones who have people listen to them, they know how to speak with clarity, with confidence and conviction, and they get their point across easily and effortlessly. And so here's how you can master the tough conversations without the fear. Hey guys, it's Brendan, and in this video, we're going to talk about tough conversations. Tough conversations are tough for a reason, and so many people avoid them. I know I used to, and I know no one really wants to do them. Like, that's why they're tough. You know, there's not someone probably walking around going, I love the tough conversation. Maybe there's someone is, but they're not going into it like that. You know, most of the time we're like, we just wish it would not be that way. But we're gonna have them, it's a fact of life, so when they do come up, how do we deal with them? So the first thing is, I want you to understand the fear and take control. The fear of judgment, the fear of rejection, the fear of confrontation stops most men from speaking up. Those things are the things that stop us from having confidence in conversations. We think that people, if we say our truth or speak our truth, people are going to judge us, people are going to reject us, or that we are going to get hurt in some way. You know, if we're judged, if we're rejected, if we have confrontation, then at some level that means we're unsafe. That's where fear comes. Fear implies that we're going to be unsafe. So we need to understand first that we're going to be safe. It's just a tough conversation. So we've got to shift the mindset there. Tough conversations are necessary for growth and leadership. If you do the easy things in life, your life will be hard. If you do the hard things in life, your life will be easy. So if we understand that we just have to go into it, also too, the more that you do it, the more you expose yourself to these tough conversations, the easier they will be in the future. You won't even have to think about it. You'll just be like, tough conversation, I'm going in because I can see what's on the other side. And I also want you to understand that fear, especially fear of judgment, fear of rejection, comes from like a primal root. You know, think about it back as we are pack animals, you know? And so in the wild, if there is a animal who is, or a young calf or baby that is isolated or rejected from the herd, that equals death. If they're judged and rejected from their herd, they're dead because they'll be left on their own. Their family will leave them, or their tribe or their herd will leave them, and it will get eaten up by a lion, for example. So it equals death. So we have this primal programming inside of our lower energy centers that's just around survival, and that's where the fear is from being rejected. So understand that no one's going to reject us, we're safe, and that in itself is enough to understand that the fear doesn't need to be there anymore. It also comes from a conditioning. When I was younger, and this was something that I actually literally had to work through, I don't know if you had this as a kid, but when I did in primary school, we had Healthy Harold, which was like a van that would come around to the primary school, and you'd go in there. It was like Fit for Life, but it was like they were just teaching kids around stranger danger, around health, around hygiene, you know, about all kind of life skills. I think they probably could have used more of that stuff. But anyway, one of the things that they've drilled in there is stranger danger, don't talk to strangers. Fear. Don't talk to strangers, which is perfectly valid in the world that we live in right now. There's just so many people out there that, you know, you wouldn't want your kid walking around so young, and you wouldn't want them to accept things from strangers. So it's valid. However, that's a little program stored in the unconscious mind. Don't talk to strangers, fear. And so I had this little program in my unconscious mind from when I was in 3rd or 4th grade at school, and I was then trying to meet people later on in life, thinking I had social anxiety. And is it social anxiety, or is it just a little program that was running going stranger danger, don't talk to strangers? And this is why I struggled in conversations and meeting people so much, because I had this little program that was running going don't talk to strangers. And as soon as I released that, it was so much easier for me to meet people. I literally could go up and talk to anyone and feel fine. Like I didn't necessarily have the best conversations because I needed to build the conversation skills. I didn't feel that fear response in that situation, and that's the key. So if we can understand too that the fear is just a mechanism to keep us safe and protect us, we can say, thank you for trying to keep me safe here, but I've got this, I'm cool. And we said that to ourselves. We don't have to worry about the fear then, because then there's no fear. And so in the tough conversations, we're gonna be fine. One of the best things you can do too is go, what's the worst thing that could happen here? If you could go out there and say, well, maybe I'll lose my job. Maybe the relationship will end. And then go, would I still be okay? Like if that did happen, would I be okay? It's probably not ideal, but you would survive. So then when you can understand that, it's like, well, what's to fear? Nothing. So then you can go into it without the fear. You can go into it and have control of yourself and how you think and how you feel, and the outcome's going to be much different. Now, Tony Robbins said, fear is the greatest obstacle to human growth and development. Master it and you will conquer everything in your life. So fear is there to protect us if we understand that it's there to keep us safe, and that's what it is. It's not really relevant in this world that we live in for certain things, for most things. Obviously there's a good element of fear, otherwise we wouldn't have it. But if we can understand that, we can go, I've got this, I know that I'm safe, and you'll be able to handle situations much better as soon as you understand that. And so the second thing you need to understand is that you need to speak with clarity and confidence. Be direct, but stay calm and composed in those situations. Use strong and assertive language and avoid little filler words and hesitation. Avoid saying or or and, or like any type of thing. And one of the best things you literally can do is film yourself or record yourself having conversations. You could pick any type of topic and just talk about it for 5 minutes, just film it or voice record it. And it's for no one else to watch but you to analyze. And what you can do is you can just watch it with no sound. So you're watching the video and so you're seeing how your body reacts, and then you can turn it without sound. Then you can turn it without video and just use the sound and hear how it sounds. And you might find that you have all of these little filler words. You can even get it transcribed, and then it will transcribe all of the filler words, and you can just search, and you might find that you say some certain word hundreds of times. And then it's like, wow, okay, I've got something to work on. I've got something to improve in this area. And then that's going to allow you to, with more clarity, speak with more confidence and get your point across easier. So you don't have to worry about people misunderstanding you or even getting caught up in your mind. It's one of the best things that I continually do is I always audit myself, and I always do tongue twisters. Constantly, every single day, I'm doing tongue twisters to help with my pronunciation and how the words come out, and also to help warm up my mouth when I'm about to talk. And then I review my videos, I review my content, I review everything that I did to see what other little filler words, and then I just pick one and I work on that slowly. And it might be a long drawn out process. It might take 12 months to master this conversation, master this communication. However, it is so powerful. If you can do it for 12 months, it's only 1 year out of your life. It's gonna set you up for so much. But most people won't because it's too much work. So I invite you to dive into it and just do it. And it takes a couple of minutes a day. Easy. Now we have one of our guys currently in our program at the time of filming this, and he came into it and he was very hesitant when he was talking. The words that he was saying, he couldn't get his point across, he was getting stuck in his head. I think he had some kind of like neurodiverse condition, but nothing crazy. I don't know if it was diagnosed, he just thought maybe he had something like that. I know his kids did. And so communication, he really struggled. He didn't have confidence, he didn't have clarity. He felt like his partner would pick up something and he'd be like, I didn't mean it like that at all. And it wasn't a very good situation. So anyway, he's come in and he's just worked through so much of the things that's in the congestion in his mind. And that's allowed him that he's just changed so much with how he speaks and how he talks. He's now speaks so much more clearly. He has so much more confidence when he talks, and he gets his point across, and he doesn't stutter, and he doesn't stop and pause and have to think about it. He's much more fluent. And that's all from just doing the work, and then his relationship has improved massively. So if you want your relationship to improve, whether it's romantic or any relationships in life, focus on communication and how you speak clearly and with confidence, and everything will change in those senses. Now, Peter Drucker said, the most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. So in the conversation, you're not saying that you're speaking clearly or you have clarity or you're speaking with confidence. Like you don't go, I'm speaking with confidence here. You're just talking. You don't say, I'm speaking with clarity here. You're just talking in conversation, but the other people can pick up that you're speaking with confidence, that you're speaking with clarity and certainty. And so that is why, if you can master this, it's going to change your communication and how you relate to people massively. And the last thing to understand, and definitely not the least, is to master the art of active listening. Confidence isn't about just talking, it's about listening. Acknowledge the other person's perspective and understand and say, yes, I understand your point of view, or I totally understand. Then stand firm on your point if needed. Seek to understand, not to respond. So many people, they try and listen to someone, or they listen with the intent to just speak back. And so it's like, I want this person to hurry up and finish so then I can talk. That's what their mindset is, but it's not the way it's got to be. If you ask questions, then one of the most powerful words you can use in communication is you. Talk about the other person, and the other person will like you so much more. I used to, when I'm coaching someone, I'm listening to them, and because I'm seeking to understand them. I want to understand them better than how they understand themselves, so then I can help them understand themselves and transform and change. And I couldn't do that if I was just sitting here talking to them or at them the whole time. I need them to talk and to ask them nice open-ended questions about themselves so then I can understand them. And they feel heard, they feel like someone gets them, they feel like someone can open up, and they can feel like someone is helping them understand themselves, and they actually feel like they understand themselves better because they're talking about themselves. Now, obviously you're not walking around coaching people, but if you walk around asking people, how are you? Tell me a little bit more about this. How is this? How is this? Your communication is going to be so much easier. So many people are worried about what to say, but if you're actually the opposite and all you have to do is ask questions about the other person, and when they answer a question, all you have to do is just answer it, nice and simple. So don't overcomplicate communication. Master the art of active listening, but stay firm if you need to. Just because they said something doesn't mean you need to take it on board. Just because they said something doesn't mean you need to believe it. And just because they said something doesn't mean it's true. Stay firm on your perspective if you need, but seek to understand where they're coming from, because you may learn something very new and it will humble you at the same time. Now, Stephen Covey said, most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply, as I mentioned just before. So when you're listening, listen to hear the other person and to understand, and their perspective, whether you take it on board or not, it doesn't matter, but at least then you're going to get respect because you're respecting the time that you have to listen to them, and they're going to take the time to listen to you. If you can't listen to someone else and the other person doesn't feel heard, why would they listen to you? So you need to be able to listen to the other person. Ability to have tough conversations is what separates weak men from strong leaders. So don't avoid them, master them. If you see a tough conversation come up, go, yes, I know this is going to make me better. And so then you can dive into it, and then you can really expose yourself to those tough conversations, because it won't be the first and it won't be the last, but they'll get easier and easier the more that you do them. So let me know what your biggest takeaway was in this video. If there's anything I can do, remember, I got you back for life. I want to help you. I want to help you become the best version of yourself. So if there's anything I can do, just drop in the comments, any questions, reach out to me on social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. You made it to the end of the video and you are one of the top 1%ers who get to this point. Now, if you're sick and tired of not growing to the level that you want, if you're sick and tired of being the same spot that you were 12 months ago, if you're like, you know what, I've got so much more to offer, but I don't really know how to get there, then if that is you, down below, book in your call with one of my team. Just enter your phone, enter your email, and enter your number. And hey, look, we can't reach you if you enter details that are wrong. So enter your right details. We'll be able to reach out to you. We'll show you the 4 stages that we take men through that's going to completely rip you out of your current situation and push you in a new direction that where you want to go. I will push you as hard as I can to get that outcome for you, because I know how much the life is good on the other side of it when we get out of the shit, when we get onto where we want to go. So click the button and I'll see you on the other side.